Time now for First Alert Weather with meteorologist Rob Nucatola.
Well, good morning and happy Thursday, everybody. And I have a lot of numbers in the mid-70s this morning. They'll slowly rise into the 80s. How far they get into the 80s is going to have a lot to do with when we get some breaks in these periods of rain and how long those breaks last for. I think a lot of us probably were talking low 80s. That's it today. Temperatures are the smallest and easiest part of this forecast. We take a look at the radar and there's quite a bit going on. Yesterday we had decent showers, especially in South Georgia. Not so much for North Florida. Right now I don't see nearly as much going on along Highway 84 or north. Yeah, we've got some showers from Bainbridge to Colquitt to Blakely, maybe a few more around Moultrie and Camilla. But we're going to find more and more activity farther south, spiraling north as these bands of rain wrapping around what was Hurricane Francine continues to spiral into our area. And that's going to keep the rain chances high across the board today. And we could see some prolonged periods of rain. We could see some waves of rain where it's a little bit heavy, and there could be some stronger thunderstorms mixed in there too. Tornado watches still in effect when you get over towards Bay County, not into our area technically, but they're close enough where we will certainly keep our eyes on it. And we're talking about the potential for some flooding, especially for the western half of our area. So we got a lot of things we're watching today, and it all comes down to the fact that it's going to be wet out there today. We're at 72 in Thomasville. We're at 76 in Valdosta. We're at 77 in Tallahassee. Pretty good breeze out of the east. It's going to be a noticeable breeze throughout the day. And again, we got those dew point temperatures in the 70s, so we're not drying out just yet. I'm hoping we can talk about some drying this weekend, but we need to see a few things happen, and one of those few things is we need what's left of Francine to fizzle out, and I think that's going to take until tomorrow before it happens. So the rain chances are going to stay up all day today, still tonight, and maybe even into at least part of tomorrow. Now the cool spot right now is Blakely at 70, Camilla's at 75, so is Quincy. The warm spot is Apalachicola at 79, so we're running the 70s this morning. That breeze from the east is certainly a noticeable one. It'll be in that 5 to 15 or 8 to 18 mile per hour range all day, so we do expect it to be breezy at times. The biggest weather still well to our west, the Panhandle, parts of Alabama, and even still in Louisiana as this continues to lift north, and that's where it's going to take the bulk of whatever's left of the core. But these bands that spiral around it will move through our area, so at times we get some of those pockets of heavier rain, and at times we get some of those breaks. I think it's going to be at least a couple of those waves of rain before all is said and done, and I think there still can be some of that activity around tomorrow as we still have all this moisture lingering, and we need that energy off to our west to fizzle out and move away. And it's going to take a while for that to happen. So we got to be patient and expect it to be wet today and tonight and still at times tomorrow. Let's talk tropics. We'll go to the latest numbers with Francine, now a tropical storm. Winds are down to 45 miles per hour. The movement is to the northeast at 12. It is currently 60 miles north of New Orleans. Made landfall last night a bit west of New Orleans and kind of meandered its way through Louisiana. It's going to get into Mississippi. It should continue to weaken as it moves away from its fuel source, those warm Gulf waters. Likely going to fizzle out and fall apart by tomorrow morning and just be whatever remnant low it will be. But as long as that stays there and churns, it'll be tapping into all this available moisture that the southeast has been chock full of for so long, and that means our rain chances are going to stay pretty high. Doesn't look like much anymore on the satellite loop, and I don't think it's going to look like much as it continues to get weaker, but certainly big time rain near that core and a couple of different bands way out ahead of it that will likely spiral through more of the Panhandle, more of the Big Bend, more of South Georgia, and that's where we could get some of those bigger downpours and maybe some of those more dangerous thunderstorms. Now, while we're talking tropics, got an area off the Atlantic coast that's a little interesting maybe over the next several days for something to develop here. We'll watch and see how that works out. There's two other pieces of energy a little bit east of the islands, neither one looking all that vibrant. And then we've got this energy out here that's actually our latest tropical depression. We're calling that one number 7. Still as of 5 o'clock, a tropical depression, winds at 35 miles per hour. Over the next couple of days, it's likely going to get a little bit stronger. We'll call this one Gordon if it gets there, and that could happen as early as today. Doesn't look like it's a big threat to any land area, but of course we'll keep our eyes on it. very active in the tropics, which is usually what happens at this point in September. On the Gulf today, we've got that small craft advisory. It's going to go at least until this afternoon. It's going to be breezy. There'll be storms. Winds out of the southeast 15 to 25, seas 3 to 6 feet. This morning, I'm going to put the rain chance at 90%. I'm expecting everybody to get wet today multiple times. We'll have those waves of rain. There'll be some storms. I'll keep the temperatures in the 70s. This afternoon, the warm spots in some of the breaks between those waves of rain. I think we get into the low 80s. I'd be surprised if we got anything warmer than 84, 85. But I guess it's possible. Most of us, we're probably talking 81, 82, 83 at most. More showers, or still some showers tonight, and lots more 70s. The rain chances start to come down. They don't go away tomorrow, but hopefully they can get reduced a little bit more, down to like a 60% shot. Still feels like whatever's left of Francine going to be churning enough, and there's going to be enough moisture around where at least a few more pockets of showers and storms are going to be around during the day on Friday. As we hit the weekend, I want to bring the rain chances down a little bit more, but I want to see that energy fizzle out. So we'll go optimistic. We'll bring the rain chances down a little, and we'll bring the temperatures up a smidge with some sunshine. Hopefully it'll feel a little drier out there this weekend, but I do think we can end up having a nicer setup for the weekend, certainly much nicer than we've had for most of the week.